Why is haute couture so expensive? The industry of haute couture, translating to high fashion, has always taken enormous sums of money for their products, and it has done so quite proudly. The prices for Dior, YSL, Givenchy and Chanel are, if not by numbers, then by dimensions, printed into our collective cultural knowledge. There are and there always will be people claiming that it is the supreme quality of the fabric, the artistry that went into the design, and the craftsmanship that went into the production of the individual piece that established the price and worth of, for example, this chain wallet by Yves Saint Laurent for 995 euros. This case can be made for a chain wallet made out of calfskin, which requires cautious and skilled labor. But look at this dress. It is Jennifer Lawrence Oscar dress of 2013. It is the most expensive Oscar dress ever. It is made by Raf Simons for Christian Dior Haute Couture and it costs $4 million. It must be an incredibly expensive fabric, or maybe there's another reason for this absurd price of $4 million for a dress. There's a widespread opinion that high fashion is expensive just because it is expensive. The driving impulse to buy being the wish to show off that one has money. However, this sounds quite ugly and does not mix well with the utopian ideal of high fashion. To avoid speaking of money, there's a finer word in the marketing world for this phenomenon: prestige pricing. The name of this theory illuminates the mindscape of the ideal customer companies like Dior wish to have. First of all, no matter how flashy the brand initials, the customer never shows off. The customer shall think in words far nicer and far prettier than money and bragging. The customer shall think of luxury, of value, and listen to that magic word, prestige. It is quite intuitive now to judge. The customer can be called shallow, even primitive for the subconscious idea that money generates the worth of oneself. But there's a valid case for prestige purchases to be heard. We will not blur our own vision. Prestige purchases are done to show off personal wealth. But, at least for some people, wealth has been earned. Money was safe to spend it on status symbols. Why should a person not be proud of the money he accumulated, you may ask? Everyone has the right to be proud of the performance they put up, and money, for some people, is the equivalent of a good performance. It is questionable, though, to show one's own net worth in such a plump way. It certainly is the opposite of a prime marker for good taste. According to some, it even speaks of bad taste. And there's truth to that reproach. But on the other hand, it can be comforting to assure even to yourself that you did a good job and reward yourself in a world that demands high performance day by day. What is this little deception in the grand scheme of things? Is it really worth our harsh criticism? Even if that be so, there is still a good, yes, an honorable reason left to buy haute couture for those ridiculous amounts of money. This is the most expensive artwork that was made by an artist who is still alive, Jeff Koons. It may be many things, but it is not a credible argument that this rabbit was to be as beautiful an object as humans can accomplish. Beauty is a central idea to the human mind, and art does not even try to be as beautiful as it could be. There is the idea, encompassed in the idea of beauty, that there are images that bring us joy when we look at them. The experience of joy by looking at something is an aesthetic experience, and we still understand that. We still long for aesthetic experiences. High fashion sometimes provides just such an aesthetic experience. But that is not the argument we want to formulate. More important than the actual success of delivering aesthetic, joyful experience is the willingness to follow this ideal. High fashion understands the longing for sheer and utter beauty, and it strives to provide it. And it is important and simply wonderful to know that there are still websites that are soothing to our souls because they smell of cherry blossom and feel like silk on our skin. Having that in mind, one can feel gratitude for the opportunity to wear a piece of beauty and be protected by it from the gruesome pressures and banalities of life. Would this Tom Ford copper jacket piece of beauty for $4,600 still remind you of the eternal idea of beauty if it only costed $50? Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for your attention and see you next time at Cider.